Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Little Things, a conversation series about the small moments, gestures, and details that shape our days and leave an impression. Sometimes that's a quiet ritual, a handwritten note, a moment of connection, or a spark of creativity. This podcast is about those moments and the people who understand just how much they matter. Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Little Things, a conversation series about the small moments that shape us, connect us, and remind us what really matters. Today's guest is Mariel O'Brien, a dear friend who I could not wait to have on. Mariel, we met through a business connection, but from our very first call, I felt your warmth and sincerity. You're someone whose guidance I trust deeply and whose presence personally means the world to me, just as it does to so many others. You share a beautiful bond with your 91-year-old grandmother, celebrating birthdays, holidays, and all the quiet moments in between. You live in a hidden corner of New York called your gnome home. It's bright, whimsical, and effortlessly chic, just like you. You're a godmother to countless children and a steady refuge for friends who always seem to find their way to your door. Professionally, you're a fractional president to many brands, both new ones and ones we've loved for years, brands that have come to life truly since you stepped in. I'm convinced it's your magic.
Too sweet.
I'm so excited to sit down with you today for a conversation about you and your superpower as the ultimate connector of people.
Oh, thanks, Jen. I need to
You're
hire
so
you for all my intros.
You're the best. It was an easy one.
So sweet.
Do you remember the first moment you realized how important connection was in your life?
I was thinking back to, everyone keeps, I feel very grateful that people have recognized this quote unquote superpower of mine. But I think I get as much out of being a connector as I feel my people and community get from my connections. I think growing up in a family of 6, 4 children, and sort of having that open door policy, it was never a question on whether or not someone was allowed into our home or at the dinner table. It just was. And I found so much of my life with those people from 4 years old to who they are now in my life, my babysitter being one of them. It was always just about the people around the table always being an extension of family. I think professionally too, nothing really comes without connections, especially these days, and having that trust and integrity on the person who is connecting you is such a value add, especially in this fast-paced world we're living in.
Absolutely. And I feel the same way. We have 3 children and we're constantly entertaining them, their friends, family friends, and I think it builds kind of this bond within your family, within their friend group, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Honestly, I think it helps show the kids what relationships and friendships and community mean without telling them, right?
Exactly.
You're living like that.
Exactly. If I were to come back in life, I'd come back as one of the friends of the Komen children.
So funny. I was sitting, the door opens, and I thought, oh, I want to do that. As 3 of Michael's friends walk right in the door.
Oh,
Oh, hey,
so
guys.
sweet.
One from Charlotte and one from Atlanta. I'm like, hey, guys, they're here for the weekend.
So nice. And it's so important, and it will help everyone who enters your home and your children especially, and just having that open door policy, open mind, listening ears, and I just believe in that power of connection more than anything else.
I think one of the most invaluable skills is listening, right?
Exactly.
You have to know what's going on with other people and be present.
Exactly.
When you think about the people who shape the way you show up for others, who comes to mind first?
Hmm. I feel grateful that I have many people in my life that I admire in, you know, ways I aspire to be more like them. Um, a few people come to mind. I think my babysitter, who I just mentioned, Kim, who's like an older sister to me, just she's currently raising 4 children, but she was always there for us 4, while being a partner at a huge, recruiting firm and living an incredibly busy life, so she's definitely one of them. Get verklempt thinking of it. And
Oh,
then my grandmother, she truly gives 0 Fs and is just herself through and through and shows up, really because she cares, because she wants to. She's clear on what she wants to do, what she doesn't wanna do, who she wants to do what for, and who she, you know, quite frankly, doesn't want to do what for. And that kind of power and destiny that she's created for her life, I think, is the reason why she's still kicking it here at Bemmelman's, for her 91st birthday.
if that's the way she's celebrating, she needs to keep going. Let's go to 100.
Exactly. Exactly. So I do think those 2 people definitely come to mind as my superheroes and people I admire.
And I love that you're still connected with your babysitter. When did she
I
start babysitting
know.
for you?
Oh my gosh. She was in high school, so I must have been in 4th. I think, like, I was in grammar school. And it was both Kim and Erin, 2 of my babysitters who started coming to our summer house and spending the summers with us while they were in high school. They were just, from the start, an extension of family, disciplinarian with a lot of heart. But through and through, they've been with our family through ups and downs, and we're so lucky to have them.
I love it. Friends who are family, babysitters who are family. It's just one big, I don't know, it all comes together and works, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So you are one of the most present people I know. Truly,
Oh,
you
oh,
are. I mean, you're not distracted.
true.
You are there. You're dialed in. What does showing up mean to you?
It means a variety of things. I truly believe in the power of physically showing up when in doubt. Get there, be there, call the person, send them a text that you're thinking of them, write the letter. I know you and I both believe in snail mail, and the power of snail mail, and the little things, as you and I both share that value. That's what I think of presence. It's not the magnanimous things. It's listening to, the best ways of showing up for that type of person, or what showing up means for them, and figuring out the best way to show your presence. So for me, it is, I think, first and foremost, physically being there. For me, I can physically be there way more eloquently than I have words to express my love for people. So for me, it's really more about the physical ways of showing up, with my physical presence and or something tangible.
Well, I don't believe that. You're not giving yourself enough credit because you do
Oh,
have the words. You always do have the words. And
thank you,
I've known
Jen.
you to get on a plane and fly across the country for, you know, 48 hours when someone you love or you feel like someone you love needs you. I've
Yeah.
known you to do that. And I think that's such a great quality because young people today, because of their phone and technology,
Mhm.
are not comfortable always showing up or even picking some young people don't even wanna pick up the phone and make a phone call. They'd rather text it or snap it or, I think it gets to be a little habitual. Even people my age, our age,
Mhm.
easier to send a text because those conversations can be uncomfortable or, you don't know what to say. But like you said, just being there. You don't have to have
Mhm.
answers. You don't have to know exactly the words, but presence is comfort.
Exactly.
And your presence is especially comforting. So
No.
it's true. I mean, I think you are such a special person, and you give the world such a gift by sharing yourself. I mean,
Thank you,
and
Jen.
not everyone does it. Not everyone has that ability and has that gift, and you do, and it's really meaningful.
Thank
It
you.
really is.
I'm grateful to have as many people as I do that I want to show up for.
Uh-huh.
So
That's
it's
right.
a rich life.
Well, right. It gives right back to you, doesn't it?
Exactly.
So we talked about your relationship with your grandmother. It is
Mhm.
extraordinary. You just celebrated her 91st birthday in style. You're going to have to tell me a little bit about that. I saw some things
So
online
fun.
on Instagram, but what are the little rituals that you have with her that mean so much to you?
We have a number, I would say a number of things that we love to do together. I was thinking of rituals, but I think some of what makes our relationship so special is the spontaneity with having some consistent things we like to do. The one thing, I moved back to New York in 2020 during COVID, and Marmy was immediately in that bubble for me. And we would, spend time here at the Gnome home, Sunday brunch. And then once restaurants opened up, we would do Sunday brunch, specifically at Pastis or the Soho House where she had her 90th birthday. And she loves to have an espresso martini. So those are our fun rituals that we have together, and places and kind of celebratory drinks that we love to share. But Marmy doesn't like FaceTime, but it is one of those fun rituals that I would say she's likely one of the only people that I go to FaceTime versus call, even though she doesn't like it. She gets a kick out of it, and it immediately just, starts the conversation off in laughter. Um, and I think for us growing up, Sundays were just super important to be with family. So Sunday, whether it's brunch or Sunday dinners, we try to make that something that we do. I would say we were more consistent in doing that, well, growing up, and then that time post COVID. But we try to make that something that we do every once in a while, and it's always so special, and
That's
especially shared with friends and family that are now, Marmy's extended family.
I love that. I mean, first of all, who loves FaceTime, right?
Mm.
You never look there's something about looking at yourself that is just, you look pasty
Mm,
white, you look
I
whatever, and,
know.
half the time I don't have the camera going the right way or anything, so
Yeah,
but it is quite funny.
it's funny, and it's no secret
Mm.
Marmy wears a wig, so sometimes I'll catch her without the wig, which is even
Oh my
more funny.
I would actually love to wear a wig. Can you imagine
Oh
just
my
wait
gosh.
like, putting your hair on versus having
Mm,
to do your hair?
I can't wait. I mean, I know it's gonna happen to me, so I just need to find a better resource than, Marmy.
I don't know where you get them anymore. I think there used to be
Oh
stores in
my
the mall that
gosh, I know. I
that's
tried
kind of
to
funny.
order Marmy's wig for everyone attending her 90th birthday. It was like Paula's Choice or something like that. It's truly like a catalog wig business, and they didn't have enough quantities to fulfill the order. Um, so we just got Marmy an extra, but that was the goal, that we would all show up in her wig.
Oh my gosh, you need to surprise her for a when's her half
No,
birthday?
it's
You
not
need to
Paula's Choice. I forget that. I think that's I'm blanking on the wigs company. Paula's Choice is a um, makeup brand. Sorry, Marmy's half birthday
when
would
was
be
her
in
half
July. I know it'll be hot wearing those wigs, but maybe we
would
can
be
make it
hot.
happen.
I feel
Do a
like you need to
pre-order.
I feel like you need to pre-order, stock up on the wig, and make this a spontaneous brunch celebration.
We
Hilarious.
we probably should, despite my mom has 2 sisters, so 3 girls, and they do not enjoy Marmy's birthday month as much as Marmy and I do. So adding in a half birthday might kill them, but
Well,
will make Marmy feels very special in her 90s.
oh my gosh, I love it. I'd like to be celebrated I hope my kids celebrate me like you celebrate Marmy,
Well,
right?
I
Or my
will be
grandkids.
there
I hope
happy
someone
happy to help them. Mhm.
Oh, well, thank you.
Of course.
So, what have you learned about the value of relationships with Marmy that you carry forward in your life? Because with age comes wisdom, right? And
Mhm.
she has 9 decades that she's celebrating and bringing her wisdom to you and to the world. What are the things that you carry, the values that you carry to your life that you've learned from her?
I think first and foremost, age is a number and life is a gift, and Marmy really lives her life that way. She Also hold on to so many memories. I do think not growing up with phone and, you know, she's very interested in like her history, the history of our country, the history of New York, and is an incredible storyteller. And I think, I probably admire her as a connector as well because she's constantly listening, connecting the dots, bringing them back to references of hers or of the past, and I really value that. My grandfather was the same way in, loving history and places to connect as well. They both love, the hidden restaurants or the family run organizations and kind of meeting places that would create congregation. So I really value that they were very community led. They created community while also honoring the past and being very present in the future. And for Marmy specifically, I really just value that, she really has like no stigmas that she applies to herself, at 91 or any age that I've been lucky enough to grow up with her. So I think that's really, age is a number as I get older too. Obviously, things are changing and I feel different, but I also look to her and like, wow, I still have 40 plus potential years to be, living as well as Marmy is. Like, how do I want to take each day to be able to build upon that possibility?
There's so much that you just said that is sticking with me and resonating with me. One, of course, is being present, right?
Mm.
Losing our phone and living in the moment. And I think we all think that taking that picture on our phone is going to solidify the memory. And that's not the case, right? We need to be living and experiencing it to remember it. Because as I will scroll through my phone looking for a picture and think, oh my gosh, I mean, I don't remember that. I did that. I don't
Mhm.
remember that. We're so distracted and so much lives on our phone. We really need to be living ourselves, right?
Mhm.
And cherishing these things that seem small but really are big, right? These are the little things are what makes up the big picture of our life. And it's so easy to look to the next, look to the next, look to the next, but we really do need to slow down and
Mhm.
absorb all of these things. And it doesn't have to be the big celebrations. It can be the little FaceTimes that make you laugh or going to dinner and having that espresso martini and just kind of living, right? Living in the little
Exactly.
moments and putting down this technology that we've become so dependent on but paralyzes us.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and I also like that Marmy just kind of like doesn't give a,
Yeah.
like whatever. You're not judging
She's
me.
just, yeah,
I'm
out there living, no judgment. Please don't judge her.
exactly what you should be doing, right?
Exactly.
Well,
So
you did the most special thing for my daughter a couple of summers ago, and I know that you're a mentor to many, but you kindly let Caroline shadow you in New York. You guys walked together, you took the subway, you welcomed her into your work life. You gave her a true insider's view into your world. You are 1000% forever her mentor. Sometimes
no.
she'll say, "What do you think Mariel would think if I took that class?" Or "Do you think Mariel would think it's a good idea if I
Cute.
do LSE this summer, or should I go work?" Right? You should I
Oh,
take a summer job or should I go to LSE? So you're always on her mind
love
when she's
Caroline.
thinking about her future.
So sweet.
But she had the best time with you, of course. I mean, you just leave this imprint. I just I want you to know that you just leave this
Mm,
but
so kind.
what do you hope young women take away from spending time with you, both personally and professionally as they kind of form their form their lives, form their building blocks of their futures, whether it's work or personal or a combination of both? What do you hope that they take away?
Well, first, Caroline was a joy. I hope she comes and works for me one day. She's
Oh,
quite the
that's so
talent
cute.
and fun to be around. And again, age is just a number. I wish I was there at UNC with her this weekend.
Heck yeah, we do.
Right there alongside of her. I love mentoring. specifically female leaders, female rising professionals, and also young women. We're living in a time where, we fought for so much for females, and in some ways, in different directions, those things that we fought for are being challenged. And I think what I know to be true about what I want is just building the confidence and courage for females to stand up for what they want to do, to ask the questions, to feel the safety, to ask for what they deserve, and allow for kind of the vulnerability in not knowing, and the safety of asking questions. That's professionally and personally. There's so much, young children have at their fingertips to like find out on the internet versus asking the question and having that kind of learning experience with someone. So for me, that is very near and dear to my heart. I don't know why I'm getting so verklempt, but I feel like females need females right now to support them, and we have to stand up for one another, make each other feel safe, and provide safety and professional opportunities.
You said so much. And one thing I really try to instill in my daughter, because I have one daughter, right? And th- young women need a voice, and they need to, you can't teach confidence, right?
Mm-mm.
Um, but I think confidence comes from being supported and experiencing different things and small victories and having someone trust you, having someone trust a young girl and trusting girls. It's so hard to see what's happening to young girls right now. And, it scares me to think that they don't have a support system, whether it's within their household or with a mentor like you, or just young girls need a support system. And sometimes it's not, they don't want to have that support from their mother. I
Exactly.
often, um, I have a wonderful mother and she did so much for me, but I often felt more comfortable talking to other people and learning from others. And, you know, a lot of the experiences in my life are what gave me confidence. But these young girls need to find a real sense of confidence that can carry them through life, because
Mhm.
we don't have any idea. I don't feel like I can map out a timeline or a list of experiences that could be ahead of my daughter, right? I have
Right.
no idea. She's going to work, she's going to go to college, she's going to travel, she's going to do this, she's going to do that. The only thing I know that I can give her is support and the ability to know that she can always trust me with anything that she's going through.
Mhm.
And I hope that for every girl, they have that gift of that someone, whether it's
Agreed.
a mom, a friend, an aunt, someone that they've met in college, a friend's mom, right? I feel like somehow our support system's crumbling,
Mhm. I agree.
and
And
I don't understand. I don't.
mhm. I know. I mean, as you know, we were very passionate about the loneliness epidemic, and I think that's just something that keeps me up at night, and people having mentors, people having support, feeling safety, and knowing, that they have the ability to go to someone, and ask for help or learn, or, "Hey, can I shadow you?" Or, "I'm thinking about this. What does that mean for you?" Those little things that, open the doors for community and connection, are what we all need to do, no matter, where we are, who we are, what we believe in. I think the power of connection, especially for generations, like older generations, to instill, in our younger people growing up in this world, are going to be incredibly, important practices for us to lean into, and try and teach and facilitate. because I think it's becoming less and less innate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
But
we're
you are magical with that too, Jen.
oh, well, I
You
try. And you know what?
you are.
I really do enjoy it, and I've been fortunate enough to have the time to, um, spend with my kids and their friends and just kind of I said to someone one time, "You know what? Teenagers don't want anything from you but just to know that you're in the house."
Yep.
They may not talk to you every day, well, of course they do, but you know, and I'm being facetious. They may not
Mhm.
sit down and have this important conversation, but something about just being in the house or being around or being available makes them feel secure.
Mhm.
And, I don't know. We're always a work in progress. And I'm always looking for different ways to connect with each one of my kids in the different phases of their lives. Sometimes it's super easy and sometimes it's harder, but I don't give up. I just kind of put myself there and like, hopefully this will
Mhm.
hopefully someone's
Totally.
taken something from this experience.
Definitely. And if it's not you, you're creating that. I mean, look at Kara's connection to your family and all the people that you have in your home and the connections that come from that. So you're doing it, and holding that space for others to do it too, which is, to me, the magic of it all.
Well, I learned a lot about connection and presence from you. I really
Oh, thanks, Jen.
So, an extension of you, your person, Marielle, is your home. It's aptly dubbed the gnome home. It's so you, so bright, so whimsical, so chic, so charming, so calming. What does creating a space, a little slice of heaven in the big city of New York mean to you?
I was so lucky to find what we call the gnome home here in the winter of 21 when New York was empty. I got very lucky. And I do have to say, my grandfather had the best luck with finding incredible parking spots, and I've inherited his luck with my parking spots that I've had to be able to live in the different cities that I have been lucky enough to experience. And coming back home to New York after living in Austin, Vancouver, Los Angeles during the pandemic was obviously quite interesting. But it was also felt like a chapter of me like truly coming home. My friend Lizzie, who you know, is an art consultant, and I did not know what my place was gonna be like transparently. My past places have been somewhat, like, very, neutral and serene, but she found a painting for me that I bought as my first purchase when I knew I was coming back to New York City. That's, our friend Ty Maynard's, and it's an abstract painting, but it has "Going Home" written in it, and it was somewhat of the centerpiece of like what I based a lot of my choices around. And my mom came with me to help buy like my second piece of kind of I would say like my fixture in my house, which is the rug in my living room, which is this Missoni-esque, very colorful, vibrant, Elton John looking rug. But my mom was like, I am shocked you bought this, but it makes me so happy because I know this next chapter of your life is going to be so colorful and bright. So I would say this home is a reflection of my many friends who are artists, my best friend Lizzie, who's an art consultant, and it's connected me to other artists who have either become friends or people that I follow. I have some of my mom's art. I have pillows that my friends have made for me, a couch that my friend handed me down. So it's really, such a reflection of my community, and it does make me happy people come in and kind of discover this space because it's something you can't see from the streets of New York and kind of have to wind through a building and a courtyard to get there. But it really is true that people just kind of come in mesmerized and always smile. And I think that is what makes me most happy. There's so many memories that have taken place within these walls, but the color is bright and cheery and makes what I want to create, a welcoming space to have a lot of fun.
I mean, it's like it is the most sacred space. It's so happy. What, tell
Thank
me, isn't
you.
your, kitchen trash can a
Oh
spaceship?
my gosh, it's a spaceship. Yes, I have a lot of
Everywhere you
quirks
look.
and it's fun and a lot of hand-me-downs, things from my past homes and grandparents' home and friends' homes that have been gifted to me. So it is just a combination, I would say, of all the things past and present, and I'm very lucky that, you know, multiple generations have had experiences in my home, including my godchildren. As you know, I had custom bunk beds made for my guest room, queen on queen, so I could have as many of my godchildren and parents come squeeze into my my house stacked up on top of one another, but it's quirky and comfortable with a lot of color. That's for sure.
And a lot of love. I'm telling
Yes.
you. It's like
Thank you.
it wraps its arms around you when you walk in the door.
Oh,
It's so
well,
happy, and I love
that
it.
means so
I love
much coming from
if you
you,
ever
knowing how beautiful your homes are.
if you ever, ever, ever leave,
Oh,
think of me.
Caroline. I mean, I'm just waiting for Caroline to
Caroline,
Yeah.
I'm like, "This is, like, the coolest space ever."
Yes. I know. I feel very, very grateful.
Well, you gave us the perfect segue. You're a godmother to so many, and the ones that you're not officially a godmother to claim you anyway. What does that role mean to you?
Oh, everything. As you know, my business is called GM. I'm a morning person. My role for a few brands is general manager, president, and godmother is really the most important role that I play in my life. I'm so grateful to have so many amazing godchildren and friends' children, in my orbit to love. For me, they bring me so much joy. I learn so much from them. And, not having my own children, I kind of get the best of them and they get the best of me. And I hope to be that safe, supportive, loving person that they can always go to. And it's wild because my godmother, who's so important to me, named me her daughter's godmother when I was in grammar school. So I have a goddaughter who is 31 now, who just got married. And it's wild to have my, God children range in age, and some of them know each other, others don't, and some of them like to think that they're the only one. So we've had to break the news to some of them that they have other that I have other godchildren. But I truly can't wait for the day for, I need my vision is to hold some sort of kind of retreat with all my godchildren and, pseudo godchildren to get together one day or for a weekend and have a godmama mares weekend. And I need to do that sooner than later because they are growing up so quickly. As you know, my mom would always say, the days are long, but the years go by so fast. And I hear that in the back of my head, and seeing them, I do see them frequently, but also seeing them seldomly not being their parent, it's just wild how quickly
It
time
does.
flies, and
It's
they're
really
such markers of time.
life is nuts because, they start out this little baby, right? And then the next thing you know, they drive away in the car, and that makes me feel so old when I say things like that, but it's true. And I remember backing out of my driveway when I got my driver's license, and my parents were standing in the garage crying. I was thinking, "Ew, like, what? I can't wait to back out of this driveway and go." And,
Oh,
you know, it happens in a blink, and it happens right before your eyes, but the days are long sometimes.
mhm, mhm.
I had a very special godmother in my life. She was actually
Oh,
not officially a godmother, but,
mhm.
um, kind of a someone that I adopted. She was my neighbor across the street. She never had children. Her husband was I grew up in a very small town, so her husband was worked in the embassy in India and in Pakistan. She had the most eclectic collection of Pakistani and
Wow,
Indian
so
antiques,
cool.
and I would go over to her house and we would play, and I don't even think she liked kids, but I sort of, like, gravitated over there, and I had this wild curly hair, and I think she thought, like, what her mom doesn't brush her hair or something. She was I mean, I just probably looked like a little ragamuffin all
Fun.
the time, but I took so much from her. I think she may be where my love of fashion and clothing comes.
Mm,
She's very stylish. I mean, I think back and I grew up in a very small town. There was nothing fancy, but she was dressed to the nines everywhere she went. She was doing Pilates before Pilates was a thing. We would stretch and do all of these
mm.
funky things uh, but what you're giving to each one of these children, ranging from the oldest to the youngest, is so special. You're giving your time, your heart, your ears, your voice, and
Mm,
them a whole set of special values, and it's magical. And I love it when you post
uh,
'cause you're doing something fun spending time with you, so I love to see what you're doing next
oh,
with who you're doing something fun with.
I know. They keep me at my toes and keep me busy, and I wish many of them lived closer. But I get to see a lot of them frequently, which I'm very grateful for. And more wanting to come here, which is even more fun.
So
My goal is that they'll want to come and spend weekends here and bring friends, and that
they
to me will
ab
be the ultimate.
they absolutely will. They're gonna be so excited to show you off to their friends, like, "Oh, look who I've
Can't
got
wait.
hidden away. She's the coolest."
Cannot wait.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I would wish you were my god. Can I come to the gnome home? Can
Yeah,
I have
anytime. You know that. Anytime.
So you always know exactly what to say, even when the rest of us don't. We've touched on it. You're present, but you do know what to say. How do you stay so emotionally attuned to the people in your life and kind of bring that calming presence?
Well, I am an empath, as you can see. And, I think for better, for worse, I appreciate clarity. The person I'm working for now, his mentor, or I guess executive coach, told him clarity is kind. And for me, I think you know, sometimes to a fault, but kind of my commitment to my people is like, you're going to get the truth no matter what, whether it's good, bad. But ultimately, I want to be, that person who is present, who is supportive. And, you never have to guess. Like, you can come to me, you're going to know what I am thinking, it's going to be clear. And I think that's how many of my like truest bonds have been um, fostered. So I don't think I always have the right words, and sometimes I definitely trip over my words or have too many, but I do try to make a commitment to just be as truthful and honest as possible. In a way, I try to do it as kind as possible, but I know I can also be quite frank. So I think I have a little bit of marmy in me in this sense of, you know, knocking it down sometimes, or not knocking it down, but giving it to you straight. But to me, that's my commitment to always be truthful to those that I love.
You've got it going on, girl. You do.
It's no, I don't, but you do too. And I always have like loved. I miss our more frequent calls,
I know. It's like
but
I feel like I
love
need to just get on
talking
your
things through
calendar.
with you. You
I
always
know.
have the best perspective.
I feel like I just need to get on your calendar, twice a month just to get
You
my fix
just need
when
to
I
be in New York more. I can't wait.
I know. Me too. Me too. I have talked so much about how you make people feel special. What makes you feel special and celebrated, Miss Marielle?
That's so sweet. I feel like you've really boasted me up. Thank you, Jen. Gosh, what I do feel so special. I do have to say, snail mail is the way to my heart. My sister is
Mm.
so good about that. And presents, like people wanting to come over and sit by the fire or spend a weekend. To me, that's the most special. I think those two things specifically. I'm not like I love talking through things with people, but I'm not necessarily a phone person. So I think the physical presence of people showing up and the unexpected is definitely the ways I feel seen and special.
I love that because you just told me that, or what I heard was you get as much out of giving as
Yeah.
you do, right?
Yep. I'm
And
not
that
a good receiver though. That's something that I'm working on. Like I'm not good at receiving like grandiose gifts or that type of thing. I love, as you know, and say the little things. The little things mean more.
I do. I agree. I think I worked with this woman before I got married, and she was older. She was probably in her 60s, and I was in my 20s. And we talked to at the time I didn't have a boyfriend or whatever, and she was talking about fixing me up and da 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 da, and what I should be looking for in a guy and what was a turn off and da da da. And one time she said, "No, it's it's always it's not the jewelry or the fancy car. It's the silk nightgown or I mean, who wears a silk nightgown?
Mhm.
It's the silk nightgown or when they pick up your favorite candy at the grocery store because they
Mhm.
see you, right?
Yep.
They really see, or not your favorite pajamas or your favorite candy from the grocery store or your favorite magazine from the newsstand. That's when you know they're the one because they're not trying to impress you. They're trying to make you feel like you, right?
Exactly.
Which is fun.
Exactly. Yeah. My sister gave me the cutest Christmas gift. My sister's a teacher, and is always, I don't know why we do not pay teachers more, but, she's always wanting to do more. I'm like, Lee, I don't want anything. And she had, all my godchildren draw pictures and write notes to me and with like a picture of me and them for Christmas. And it was the best gift I've ever received.
I love that.
Hmm. It
I
costs
love
no money, but a lot of coordination and best gift ever.
it time, and there's something so fulfilling, for her knowing that she was giving you something money couldn't buy. It didn't matter.
Exactly.
Putting together all of your favorite things from your favorite people, special things from your favorite people, right?
Exactly.
It's all the little things that have the biggest meaning.
Mhm. And
Well,
very integrated into the truly gifted model because it was basically a combination of token moments and photo moments.
uh, we'll
Mhm.
revisit that again someday.
Exactly.
So, what's something not a physical gift, not an object that someone has done for you that you still carry with you? A gesture or just something that, you will take pause and think of that moment from time to time.
I mean, there's so many. But um I do think that gift that my sister gave me was really something that I will always think of. The handwritten notes are things as I keep them on my refrigerator and have held notes for years. So those and um, I think it's all I wear my grandparents' engagement ring as like a testament to them. Those are the things that really stick out.
Those are your little things.
Mhm. Yep.
You were an old soul.
Yes. I
You were an
know.
old soul with the biggest heart, the superpowers connection. I know I'm not the only one who said that to you, but it's 1000% you. I mean, you are
Thank
a
you, Jen.
connector. You make people feel warm and loved and seen. All the things that we've talked about so many times. Um, Loneliness doesn't mean that you don't have people around you, right? Because people with the biggest audience can feel lonely. It's
Totally.
this love is and connection is such a feeling, and you're out there giving it to so many people.
Mm,
I need to know. I'm so happy to know that you're getting it back.
yes,
You're the
tenfold.
best.
Very, very lucky for people like you and many of my friends who you now know that I love. Like nothing makes me happier than when my community is connected and my friends are friends and the power of community is just what fuels me.
1000%. What's one tiny thing that you hope listeners do after hearing this conversation?
Write a handwritten note to the person you're thinking of. A very funny situation at work recently where someone was sending a note to their father and didn't know where to put the stamp on an envelope. Now, this is a young, smart, intelligent, confident young woman, and I'm like, wow, this form of communication that I love is now becoming something that's a lost art. But encourage everyone to take out that pen, buy the stamps. I think stamps are now like the most reliable thing we can um, expect from USPS,
That's
and there's some fun ones out there, but I truly think that that little thing of writing a note means so much, and it's rare that people receive wanted mail, these days, so go ahead and do it and make that person feel, loved and recognize that you're thinking of them.
It is such a surprise when you get wanted mail.
Mhm.
I mean, you automatically almost put your hand reaches to put everything in the trash that came from the mail from the post office,
Totally.
and you see your name, and was this young person able to write in cursive?
She was able to write in cursive, actually, and I think that's because she went to a Catholic school,
There
transparently,
religion
which
and, penmanship were probably the 2 most
exactly.
important
Yes.
studies taught to me
Yes.
in Catholic school.
Mhm, and very important to Marmy too. She has beautiful handwriting with her eyes are going, and she's always says, like, "My handwriting's going." It's still beautiful and way better than what we see today. But penmanship is something that's important. But she was able to write in cursive, just didn't know where the stamp needed to go on an envelope.
That's
Very innocently
easy
didn't
correction.
know.
Easy correct.
But I'm glad she asked. So I was achieving my safety and vulnerability of what I hope people know they can have around me and ask me questions.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I did recently hear that they're bringing back cursive writing into the class.
Oh, good.
Because not only as a form of penmanship and writing, it, of course, has some cognitive and fine motor and, there are
Yeah.
other things that it supports other than writing your name in script.
There
I'm
was
so
just I think it was a Harvard Business School study where they studied, both men and women from all different types of, demographics, origin, um, and, like, tried to figure out why they were able to live to 80 and older, and the only thing that they had in common across all of them was that each one of them took 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes out of their day to physically write. So that's been something that I have had top of mind since reading that because, typing, they say, is very passive, that
Mhm.
we really should be writing more for exactly what you're saying, our fine motor skills and what they think longevity. So I'm willing to do it.
Me too. There's meaning, there's
Yes.
personality, all of that behind your handwriting. So we
Mhm.
need more of it from everyone, right?
Agree. Maybe we start a pen pal group, Jen.
Oh, let's do it. I like it.
Mhm. All the
Oh,
little things.
what was that thing that you would get before, chain mail? Not chain mail.
Oh, in like the email chain mail?
No, like the one that you used to write, and then you had to write another
Oh, yes.
list people that
Yeah.
you had to write this person
Mhm.
next. We should start
We
that.
should do that. Bring it back.
Well,
Help people
this
live longer.
yes, yes,
Be
and
the Marmies of the world.
broaden our circle.
Exactly.
This
My
conversation.
dream is that we build a community, like a fun community of, for my friends actually in college are now looking at this property that we could all buy together and retire. I mean, it's wishful thinking, but it is an idea of like communities being everlasting and reconvening post college when we're retiring and living living together, growing
Imagine, I
old.
love those things. Every now and then you see it on the news, they bought property and built little houses.
Exactly. There's one in Charlottesville we have our eyes on right now.
Do it. I'm all for
Mhm.
it. That
Mhm.
would be incredible.
It's so fun.
Well, this little chat on a Friday afternoon has warmed my heart,
Love
made
you.
me
Thank you so much. Hope
made
hope
me
our listeners don't
smile.
mind my tears. All
Oh,
from the heart.
that's right. And you are one special friend to me, to my daughter, to many, many people. I could not wait to have you on. And this
Thank you
isn't
for
even
having me.
I would this isn't even about the Little Things podcast. This is me loving you from my heart and wanting to share all of the special things about you with everyone who's going to listen to this wonderful
Oh,
podcast that you encouraged me to start.
too kind. I'm so glad you did it. I'm so grateful for you and your family. And now I just miss you guys. I need to see you.
I know I miss you too. You're coming to Raleigh and I'll be in New York soon.
I know. I didn't realize the game was on a Wednesday, so I'm not going to be able to make it. I know it's a Wednesday night. I don't know why they're doing that. So I'm not. But maybe for a lacrosse game or something
Absolutely.
outside of my goddaughter playing there.
Come, we'll find a way.
Yeah.
Find a way.
Yay!
But
All right.
before we go, I have to do a little
Yes.
rapid fire with you.
Okay.
A place that feels like home besides New York City's gnome home.
I think now it's Cape Cod.
Water always makes me happy, right?
Yep. Exactly.
One word your friends use to describe you.
Hmm. I do think you've touched on the connector, but that's something that I really hear consistently.
Totally. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a million things, wonderful things that could be used to describe you, but connection is who you are at the core.
Thank you. Thank you. Love to connect.
What's the quickest way you make someone feel welcome?
A hug.
Aw,
You
wish I could give you a hug right now.
too.
This was so fun.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me on The Little Things. I hope today's conversation inspires you to notice your little things. Life is full of them, and sometimes they're the ones that make the biggest difference.